In today's video, we'll go over VirusTotal versus hybrid analysis. For any cybersecurity professional, the second a suspicious file lands on your desk, the clock starts ticking. And your choice of analysis tool, that can be the difference between a quick fix and a full-blown crisis. So today we're going to break down two of the biggest names in the game to help you make the right call every single time.
All right, let's get into it. Here's our game plan. We're going to start with the problem every analyst faces, then get into the core ideas behind each tool, compare their features, see how they actually feel to use day to day, and finally, figure out how to build the perfect security toolkit. It's a journey that really follows the path of a real investigation.
So, let's paint a picture that I'm sure is familiar to a lot of you. You've got that weird email attachment, that sketchy download, a file off a random USB drive, whatever it is. It's been flagged, and now it's on your plate. And this is the million-dollar question, right? What's your first move? Do you need a quick background check, kind of see if this file is a known offender? Or do you need to launch a full-scale private investigation, watching its every move to see if you've got a brand new threat on your hands? Your answer points you straight to one of these two platforms.
Okay, let's dig into that, because the difference between VirusTotal and hybrid analysis isn't just about a list of features. No, it's about two totally different ways of thinking about how to catch malware. It all boils down to something called static versus dynamic analysis.
So first up, you've got static analysis. Imagine you're a detective looking over evidence at the station. You're not watching the crime happen, you're just examining the file's code, its structure, its fingerprints, looking for any known signs of trouble. This is VirusTotal's bread and butter. And on the flip side, there's dynamic analysis. Now, this is like putting a suspect in an interrogation room with a one-way mirror. You actually run the file, but you do it in a safe, contained environment, a sandbox, and you just watch what it does. Does it try to phone home? Does it start messing with your files? You're watching its actions, not just reading its rap sheet. And that's the whole idea behind hybrid analysis.
So this really brings us to the key difference. You see, VirusTotal's superpower is its breadth. It's the power of the crowd. Hybrid analysis, on the other hand, bets everything on depth, the power of pure observation. It's designed to catch those sneaky, brand-new, zero-day threats that don't even have a signature yet.
All right, so we get the philosophies. Now let's get down to brass tacks and compare what's actually in their toolkits, feature by feature. This is where we see how those big ideas turned into tools you can actually use. The first thing you have to understand about VirusTotal is just the sheer scale of it. We're talking results from over 70 different antivirus engines and security vendors. So when you upload a file, you're not just getting one opinion. You're getting a global consensus, and you're getting it in seconds. This table just lays it all out perfectly. You can see VirusTotal is built for speed and consensus, while hybrid analysis is all about that deep behavioral dive. And for those of you in the trenches, the practical stuff matters too. Both have really powerful APIs, so you can automate things and plug them right into your security systems, which is absolutely essential. Then there's the price. Both have a free version, but with a big catch we'll talk about later. For serious use, you'll be looking at VirusTotal's premium plans or hybrid analysis's custom enterprise pricing to keep your data private. But at the end of the day, hybrid analysis is designed to give you those detailed indicators of compromise, the IOCs, that tell you exactly what a file did, not just what other people think it is. And here's something that might surprise you. Even with all those differences, users think they're equally good at their main job. According to reviews on G2, both platforms get a 9.3 out of 10 for malware detection. They just get to the same answer from completely opposite directions. Okay, so features on paper are one thing, but what's it actually like to use these tools when the pressure's on? Let's talk about the real-world experience, because this is where you'll feel a major difference. And there it is. G2 users rate VirusTotal a whopping 9.7 out of 10 for ease of use. It's just simple. Hybrid analysis, a solid 8.6. But that's a pretty big gap. So what gives? Why the difference? Well, this quote from a user on Reddit just hits the nail on the head. They were trying to scan a totally legitimate piece of software for their 8-bit do game controller. Hybrid analysis flagged it for scary-sounding stuff like keylogging. But for a tool that's supposed to remap your controller buttons, that's exactly what it needs to do. The report was technically correct, but it was missing all the context. And that really gets to the heart of it. Hybrid analysis gives you the raw, unfiltered truth. It'll tell you a program is accessing the keyboard, but it's up to you, the analyst, to decide if that makes sense for a controller utility versus, say, a game mod. VirusTotal just gives you a simple up or down vote from the crowd, which is way easier to understand, but doesn't have nearly as much detail. All right, let's pull all this together. We're going to stack up the pros and cons, and then we need to talk about a critical risk that every single person using these tools in a corporate environment absolutely has to know about.
The whole thing really boils down to this, doesn't it? VirusTotal gives you incredible speed, it's super easy to use, and you get the wisdom of a huge community. The downside? It might miss something brand new. Hybrid analysis gives you that incredible deep dive power to catch those unknown threats, but it's slower, way more technical, and you need a sharp analyst to make sense of the results. Now, for that critical warning. This is huge. As security firm Red Team Labs points out, when you upload a file to the free public version of VirusTotal, that file becomes part of their public database. That means other researchers and even paying customers can download and look at it. So if you just uploaded a piece of your company's secret code or a document with sensitive customer info, you might have just caused a massive data leak. This is a non-starter for any serious business. So you see, the big takeaway here isn't about choosing a winner. It's not VirusTotal versus hybrid analysis. It's about building a smart, modern workflow that uses VirusTotal and hybrid analysis, playing to the strengths of each. And this right here is the ideal workflow. You start with VirusTotal for triage. Run a quick check. Is this a known piece of junk? If 50 AV engines say it's bad, well, your work might be done. But if the file is unknown or the results are mixed, that's when you escalate. You move to step 2 and you detonate that file inside hybrid analysis to see what it really does. So that's the bottom line. Think of it like a hospital. VirusTotal is the triage nurse in the ER. They take your vitals, get a quick assessment, and handle the common problems fast. Hybrid analysis, that's the specialist with the MRI machine they call in for the really complex, weird cases that need a much, much deeper look. You absolutely need both.
And that kind of leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Right now, we have static and dynamic analysis. But the bad guys? They're always getting smarter. They're building malware that knows when it's being watched in a sandbox and completely changes its behavior. So, the question we all have to ask ourselves is, what's next? How do our tools have to evolve to stay one step ahead? And that is the challenge for all of us.